Under the shroud of darkness, a powerful tornado loomed on the horizon, its fury unleashed in crackling lightning and howling winds.
And we knew now it's just, see what we have afterwards. So.
Green country is reeling in the aftermath of Mother Nature as fierce storms left a trail of devastation in their wake.
We're worried about our neighbors and our friends that have lost loved ones.
From Bartlesville to Barnsdall, the landscape is forever changed, but among the wreckage, tales of resilience emerge.
One thing I do have to say, we've all come together, people from other neighborhoods, friends, everybody just instantly calling, checking, what do we need?
The storm may have passed, but its echoes resonate through every shattered home, every upturned tree, and every individual standing firm in the wake of the destruction. 2 News Oklahoma at 5 starts now.
Good evening. We are live tonight in Barnsdall. This is where a tornado has devastated this community. Thanks for joining us tonight at 5. I'm Naomi Kitt.
I'm Karen Larson here along with Chief Meteorologist Michael Sager. This all hit last night just before 10, devastating businesses, homes, and taking a life.
And Michael, you were tracking this storm into the early hours of this morning. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we were watching this storm as it was starting to get organized right in far eastern portions of Pawnee County, came across the Arkansas River. And once it got into southeast Osage, the storm really started to wrap up and strengthen. We could see the hook echo developing on the end of the supercell. And again, as we look here at some of the radar imagery that we pulled up from yesterday, again, this really became, unfortunately, a violent type supercell. See that hook echo there on that graph. And we've got, again, that brighter shading there within the hook. That is actually debris that's being lofted up as the storm is coming into Barnsdall. We can switch it over to velocity data, and this might be a little difficult to determine what you're looking at here, but the greens are air that is flowing toward the radar site. You've got reds that are flowing away from the radar site, and right there on Barnsdall, you can see that tight circulation. And then, of course, we can look at the debris tracker as well, and that blue dot that you have here coming into Barnsdall, that is actually debris that is being lofted high up into the atmosphere, high enough that it is hitting the radar beam, and so you get that lower return there, that blue that shows up in that particular radar feature. So again, this was a violent storm. Unfortunately, long track, what appears to be a long track tornado that started south of Highway 20, crossed Highway 20 between Morgan's Corner and areas to the east of Hominy, and then continued up through Barnsdall and up into Bartlesville. And I had made the graphic and had put EF3 on there, but we just got an update now that this has been upgraded to a low-end EF4 tornado.
166 miles an hour is that they're talking about with that, correct?
That is correct, yes.
All right, Michael, thanks. Now, we do have learned more information about these storms as well. Confirmed tornadoes, as Michael mentioned, both in Barnsdall here as well as over in Bartlesville. The Osage County Sheriff's Office is confirming there is one person dead. They have still not released the name of that victim, though the family has been notified. 2 people were initially reported missing. We're told that one has been found. They discovered that that person had been transported to the hospital. They'd been injured in the storm. One still missing. Officials asking for help finding Wayne Hogue, a first responder, told me privately that their home took a direct hit. The governor confirming that moments ago. If you have any information about Wayne Hogue, please call the Osage County Sheriff's Office.
And Barnsdall has been closed for most of the day as they searched for Hogue. The governor just a few minutes ago telling us his son was on the phone with him just minutes before that tornado struck, asking him to leave his home. He's asking everybody to do that in these sorts of situations. They are still looking for him actively at this point. We do know 7 to 8 people have been injured. The governor also mentioned a woman who was transported to the hospital, actually had to have surgery because of storm damage. 7 or 8 other people having cuts and bruises, the mayor told us earlier today. He says that the response was swift after this tornado hit. Agencies from all over came to help in that search and help clean up the damage as well. If you do need help and you're in this community or in a neighboring community that got hit, you can head to the Pawhuska High School Gymnasium. And they do say if you do want to volunteer, we've seen a lot of that, you should wait until tomorrow to do that. And just 30 minutes before the start of our show, the governor was supposed to speak. He actually just wrapped up about 2 or 3 minutes ago talking to the press after being able to tour the area here.
That's right. He talked about the destruction and exactly what it's going to take to rebuild.
Oklahomans are resilient. We're going to rebuild, and we're going to do everything we can to help Barnsdall rebuild, like we were doing with Sulphur and Marietta as well. I was in a budget meeting yesterday with the House, the Senate, and we've set aside $45 million to help some of the communities. We're in session right now to make sure that they have the resources they need to match some federal funding to get these communities built back up.
And reporter Brody Myers was at that press conference just a few minutes ago listening in. Tonight at 6, he'll have a full breakdown of what the governor had to say.
You know, this is the second tornado in more than a month that smashed into this small community. The mayor telling us that he says that there is absolutely no comparison between the two tornadoes. Mayor Johnny Kelly led the town through that first disaster on April 1st. Now he and other citizens are facing a far more devastating aftermath. The town's major employer, a refinery, is damaged. A large water main, that's torn up. Even worse, as we've mentioned, we lost a life here and there's another man missing. Now, as a first responder himself, the mayor told me that it's hard to lose a neighbor, even harder when they're a close friend.
It's a double-edged sword. It's good to know a lot of people because it's you care about them and go through life with them, but also when something happens like this, you know, it's what I do for a living. I see death and stuff all the time, but it's different when it's somebody that you're close to.
The mayor didn't escape the damage either. The tornado hit his ranch too. I will show you more of the damage and his thoughts on his town's future coming up at 6.
And in every disaster, we always see people lending a helping hand. This disaster here in Barnsdall was no different. Just hours after the tornado struck this town, the Salvation Army was called out to help. I got a chance to meet up with them this afternoon. Homes flattened, roofs ripped off. The rubble is so bad in some places you can't even tell what was there before. It's the scene meeting the people of Barnsdall, the tiny community in Osage County. Just hours after the tornado touched down, State Emergency Management called the Salvation Army for help. The team from Tulsa mobilized quickly, bringing 9 members to serve food and cold drinks. They started at the high school, then by afternoon went into the hardest hit areas to serve.
We anticipate and stand prepared to serve at a moment's notice. Different snacks and lunches and dinners will change every day. And then we have cold drinks.
Cindy Fuller with Salvation Army told me they'll be here as long as it takes. They plan to serve lunches and dinners for community members and for first responders in Barnsdall. And we do expect them to be here for several days. This cleanup process obviously will take time.
Now we want to show you more of the aerial videos that we have captured of all the damage, and it is just incredibly widespread. Let us show you this right now. You can see the structures that are just twisted and torn up. They are destroyed. There is debris all over town. One house we noticed even appeared to be just pulled from its foundation. As I was driving through, I saw so many trees that were completely, there's not a leaf left on them, and many times not even any branches.
And as we are looking at that drone video, there are several homes that just don't have a roof anymore. We were able to get this video around 11 o'clock this morning, and we also saw people who were already cleaning and then searching through the debris to see if there was anything they could save. We of course want to get you updated on power outages tonight. There are a number of power outages in the path of the storm. Public Service Company of Oklahoma tells us that about 3,000 people in Bartlesville are still without power, more than 4,000 across the entire state of Oklahoma. Here where we are in Barnsdall, there's about 600 customers still without power, and in Winona, those power outages are down to 20. We have seen crews hard at work. You know, the mayor said earlier that there was 30 to 35 power crews in this community and making sure that power got turned back on.
We've seen so many power crews here, so many bulldozers moving in already, seeing cars hauling off debris so very, very quickly. People moving quickly, Michael, after the disaster.
They certainly are, and you can just tell the intensity of this tornado as you come into town. You mentioned how the trees, they're stripped. There's not even any branches on it. You just have what's left of basically the stump of the tree, and some of the bark has actually been stripped off the tree, so you can really get an idea of the intensity of the tornado just from that as well. And it's great to see, come in, you see everybody coming in to help out the community, and you always love to see that. Thankfully today the weather, a little quieter for us. We've got blue skies right now here in Barnsdall, but may not be done with storms yet, just tomorrow. Meteorologist Brandon Woolley is back in the studio, and Brandon, you've got an update for that forecast for us.
That is right, Michael. And of course, we were talking about the last EF4 that we had across eastern Oklahoma was back in 2008 in the Pitcher area. So again, a low EF4 rating on the Barnsdall tornado. Those winds start at 166 miles per hour. And the last one in eastern Oklahoma again was Pitcher, May 2008, May 10th to be exact. Live right now in our Wade's RV weather camera network, clear and sunny conditions with those temperatures into the 70s and 80s. Lower dew points. It feels pretty good out there early this evening. A low dew point in Tulsa right at 40 degrees. This evening, clear skies down to 72 degrees at 9, 70 later tonight at 10. So here's what we're tracking for you. As Michael was talking about, more storms on the way tomorrow, starting actually in the morning. A break from the stormy pattern after tomorrow, and temperatures to cool some on your latest 10-day forecast in a few minutes.